Hey guys, so this is a brand new episode on the Suresh Dhawan YouTube channel, or Leads is the name of the YouTube channel. So we're recording this few episodes and discussing various topics from a corporate perspective, from a corporate in a corporate world. So today's topic is leadership. So we're going to delve into various subtopics within this. Again, play within the context of the corporate world here. So a man of his experience, I'm sure he can share a lot, and you'll be learning a lot today. So first up, Suresh, let's start with this: roles of a leader. All right. Okay. So let's start with this. How would you define a leader?
Okay. Wow. How would you define a leader? That's that's a very loaded question, bro.
Yes.
Okay. So let's put it in a context where, see, a leader is a person. I don't want to give so many cliches.
Fair enough.
Right. Okay. So if you're a leader, first of all, Harvard Business School says this lah. It says, leadership is in the eye of the follower. So if you're a leader, basically you're bringing a group of people from where they are today to somewhere else. And that somewhere else must be clear to you, or at least you have a vision. So a leader is somebody who has a vision of what he wants things to be like, and he brings a group of people over there. If he's not bringing anybody there, he's just leading himself. But as a leader, you don't just have a vision and that's it. So we have what I call the talk, walk, combination. So what is this? Okay, so if leaders hearing this out will have to remember, first of all, we hear a lot of people saying you have to walk the talk. But walk the talk is number 3.
Okay.
So number 1, the first thing you must do as a leader, you must talk the talk.
Talk the talk.
That means you must talk, you must tell me what exactly you are envisioning. You have to talk. You have to inspire me. You have to let me know we are here right now. This is where we are. We need to go there. Why we need to go there is important. So that why is very important. Talk the talk. Inspire me. Make me feel motivated, excited. And if my goals and your goals are aligned, amazing. If my goals and your goals are not aligned, well, we have to find a way to align them. But that's where the company is going. That's where you're going. So talk the talk. Okay, you must do that. The second thing is you must talk the walk. Okay. So, okay, I know we are going to Singapore. I know you're going to the US. How are we going there? So first you told me why. Why this has to happen. But how are we going to go there? You asked me to climb Everest. Never climb Everest. I climbed Tahan. I climbed Kinabalu. I climbed Bukit Gasing. I've never climbed Everest. So you've told me why. It's exciting, but I'm afraid. So how do I get there? So talk the walk to me. What you intend to, what are the milestones, right? And where the equipment coming from, who's going to guide us, what training I will be going for, what are the risks involved and how we'll mitigate those risks. So help me out there, number 2. Now, number 3 is where you walk the talk. So you also, if you ask me to go through this, then you are also going through this. You say, do this way, this way, this way. You're also doing this way, this way, this way. So this is where we are walking the talk. Now, after that, the 4th one is walk and talk.
Okay.
Because as you're climbing, there are a lot of unforeseen things going on. You also as a leader were not sure, you were not aware that, suddenly the wind, the temperature changed. Or suddenly there's a snowstorm. Or suddenly there's an avalanche. And we are not prepared for that. So you check with your team. So far, how is it going? So you walk and talk at the same time. Okay, so these are the 4 things. All leaders must be able to understand. So if you're grooming people in the organization, these are the 4 simple things to remember. Okay, cool. Now, also as a leader, there are 6 roles you will play.
Okay.
Okay.
No, I sorry. That's the 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, right?
Right.
Okay. We will get to that.
Oh, okay.
But there's a few other questions here I'd like to pose about being a leader. So must a leader be the smartest one in the room?
No. That is not the right thinking.
Okay.
So the leader does not need to be the smartest one in the room, but he cannot be the dumbest one also. Okay. So people can see, if this guy knows what he's doing or this lady knows what she's doing or not. I mean, so you want a leader who can bring you somewhere. You don't want a friendly guy or friendly lady who can connect with you alone. No, cannot. This person must be able to produce results, but they might not know the details. They might not be the expert. So if you're a good leader, you will hire experts. In fact, you will hire people smarter than you. For example, Amazon, right? What they do is every hire should be better than the earlier hire. So you take all the efforts in the world to find the right person. Now, and that's not easy. And you finally get the right fit. The next person should be even better than this person. That's how Amazon works. Right? So a good leader knows that you need to have people, in fact, better than you to do all those different things that need to be done. Your job is to be able to find a way to get all of these people to work well together, moving towards the same direction, but experts in their own area. So you do not need to be the smartest person.
But is that applicable in every division of a company? I mean, is what you're talking about, like selecting people better than you and all that, more to the C level, the more senior management?
No.
Because at the lower rungs, you don't really need that much of the whole requirements are different, right?
Okay, so you've got leadership, you've got three different levels. You've got the first level where you become a first-time manager, right? So we call it operational level. So if I'm a manager of, let's say, for example, a finance department, HR department, sales department, I should have some level of knowledge about, of course, the product, or of course, the systems we have, the process we have, and I must be able to have enough knowledge to teach you. Because that's what I need to do. Because you have to do the job, right? I have to teach you. So that teaching capability, the knowledge has to be there. And after I teach you, if you end up becoming even better than me, that's very fine. I don't have to be the one that always has the answer, right? So that's not necessary. But I need to have enough information to teach you. Okay, so that's operational level. Now you go higher than that. Now you have what we call functional leaders. Now functional leaders are people who manage other managers. So you're talking about the SMs, the AGMs, right? The senior managers, the assistant GMs, the GMs. So you have few units or departments under you. So you're a division head. Okay. Now here, expertise in terms of tasks, even lesser. But expertise in terms of strategy, decision making, critical thinking, even more. So it changes more to soft skills already. So here you need to be able to have perhaps more business acumen than task expertise. So if you talk about smart in that way, so the knowledge we are talking about is different. So that's the second level. Now the third level is what we call strategic leadership, where you really set direction, you really take those business risks. That's your CFO, CIO, copy OTO lah.
Okay.
Right. So these people is all about strategic thinking. It's about market understanding. So that's where you should basically be smart enough. But then you have all the other people below you to execute, give you a bit of feedback about how they feel about your ideas. But the tenacity or your confidence to go ahead, that has to be there. So the confidence level should be even higher. Ability to take risk, calculated risk, sit down and think about, okay, so what are the metrics we have to look at, what measurements. So smart in that way, yes. But are you the smartest? No. You should have advisors below you who will tell you, okay, boss, in terms of market, this is what market says. And if you ask me, in my point of view, market strategy, this is how we should go. And that person might be right.
So that means it sounds as if what you're saying is the requirements in terms of skills and expertise in these three levels are differ.
Yes.
So is it possible that these three levels, people say from the third level, who are more the operational, can then promote themselves to higher levels? Because we see a case where most companies tend to opt to hire outsiders as say to replace the CEO. We don't see promoting within the company. Very rarely.
Yes.
So why is that? Is it because if I'm an operational leader, I cannot be a more of a structure, more of a functional leader?
Okay. Very good question. Now, if you heard of this thing called the CEO's conference, okay, for the last 10 years, if I'm not mistaken, the biggest headache for CEOs around the world has been succession planning.
Okay.
That's the biggest headache. The top 3 topic of the conference, succession planning. How to get people ready. Even recently, I think I was just talking to you before the show, right? We've just met a client, and CEO is very geared towards promoting one of his C-level people to his position as he transitions into his next phase of life. And the challenge is not so much about you have to hire from outside. And in fact, a lot of companies want to hire from inside, but they just don't find the people with the right mix. Now, 2 reasons for this. Number 1, there was nothing done in the pipeline to prepare people for that position. But I have seen clients, I have clients as well, where the person who started as SM is now group CEO. You see, because the leader before him, his predecessor, made sure there was a way for him to climb up. All right. Now, so one is preparing a pipeline of skills that you need. But the other thing is the person themselves. Because when you reach that level up there, the skill sets are different. Like I mentioned, right? Your risk-taking, decision-making, critical thinking, how you also lead and manage the people. So you must be able to show me those competencies, right? You might be an expert in what you do, but you're not cut out or you have not been trained or molded to be able to lead these people and make decisions at that level. So I have another client also, share another story also. I have another client where this is a they're in the health industry, multinational as well, and I know the CEO quite well. So he tells me, Suresh, I'm going to go back to my home country. I said, okay, great. And I'm thinking of this COO to fill in the next position. I said, okay. And then he says, what do you think? So I also know the COO. And I said, the COO, honestly, he is excellent at operations. He can coordinate, he can do all those things. But in terms of inspiring people, getting people to move, making decisions, taking the next step, driving business, I have not seen that. And I don't work here, but I have not seen that. And when I compare to my other clients, I don't see those same behaviors. I don't see the same thinking style. He's very safe. So if he becomes CEO, my challenge is, or my concern for you is, the business might not move as fast as you have done or that you expect. And the board will have a challenge. Number two is the people under him, because he's super careful. So everything must have double check, triple check, and all that stuff. So people will be bogged down so much with operations that you cannot move things because that's how he operates. But because you are the CEO, you say go, right? But now if he is CEO, he's going to be a bit more cautious. So his risk-taking appetite not so high. So for him becoming a CEO, I told him I don't recommend. But eventually he still had no other option. He did not want to hire from outside. And this guy already 25 years in the company as the COO. So he promoted. Now he promoted, of course we follow up with them, right? Company slow. Business not as fantastic. They just farm current business. They are not hunting for more business. You see, so that's the challenge. And the people below are just bogged down with, things are moving so slowly. We are not inspired. Meetings are boring. There's nothing new coming out. There's no new ideas. So the team also starts to become a bit more laid back, slow down, and the top performers leave because I'm not excited anymore.
So that means in hiring from outside or promoting from within is case by case. It depends on the people you have below you.
Correct.
Right?
And whether you prepare them for the future. When you bring somebody from outside also, there's no guarantee that person's going to do a good job. But when you interview them or you see their background, have they been in a role which allow them to, allow them to do things that you expect them to do as CEO here. So that's what you look for when you look for a CEO. Because all those behaviors. Skills you can learn, but the ability to make decisions, take strong decisions, make unpopular decisions, be firm, even to fight with the people who are managing your board, for example, or even if you have to deal with agencies, government agencies, international agencies, to be strong enough. So that is something that you must look for when you hire that level.
So, since you talked about how in this particular case things not fell apart, but things weren't as great as they were before, right? So, in such a situation, should leaders take the full blame, or is that an unrealistic expectation?
Full blame when things don't go well.
Yeah.
I mean, if you hire the wrong person, like Mahathir will tell you,
Somehow you went back to politics.
Yes. So he
Something
will
about
tell
this
you,
case,
I thought this person was like this, but looks like that person was not cut out for it.
Yeah.
So leaders also make the wrong decision. And I've had a client, I remember we had this client, interestingly enough, were, I think, the bottom three in terms of engagement within that. It was a GLC. It's a conglomerate, bottom three. And the GM actually came to me and said, okay, Suresh, I need to turn this around. And we went in there, we went and studied what were the possible causes. So what we found was, there was one senior manager who had the biggest team in that particular division, right? So his department was the largest, and they were the ones who actually brought the score down. So when we look at the SM, the senior manager, he's very driven. But he's very driven towards tasks, towards results, towards deliverables, but he was not engaging his people. So because the people were not engaged, they had the expertise and skills, but they were not motivated to do their best. You see? So here the GM said, okay, perhaps my choice of leader, of the right leader was ill-advised, or maybe I did not see those portions. So now the next option for him is groom him. So you try to groom, but then you realize sometimes there's only so much you can groom, and there's only so much time. So if you say it's a full blame goes on the leader, I will not say full, but I will say a huge part, because you brought this guy in. Now, after you bring that person in, did you do what you need to do to get him up to speed and help him manage his team also? Okay, so you're not going to hold his hand because he's an SM. But do you come and check? Do you come and see? Do you come and help groom him also further? If you did not do that, then I would say as a parent, you did not
So it sounds as if what you're saying is like a CEO, somebody who is at that level, who is in charge of inspiring people. You talk about use the word inspiring a lot. They almost sound like those pastors from those mega churches,
Okay.
who come in and they sing song. They need to have that element in them, that not a bit of a charisma, able to galvanize a group of people, right?
Okay. I mean, charisma, some people say charisma is something you can't teach. Some people say you can teach. So I don't know, man. My experience is, if you have charisma, it becomes easier to rally the troops because people see you. A simple example, right? Okay, if I ask you, does Elon Musk have charisma now, you think?
No, I don't.
It doesn't, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, my opinion, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, his style of speaking is not charismatic like Obama, for example.
Oh yeah, of course,
Right?
of course.
Very different.
Yeah.
Now, Donald Trump got charisma.
I don't know whether you call it charisma, but I seem to watch him.
Okay. So, charisma, so you don't have to be an Obama or perhaps, I think maybe some people would say Steve Jobs has charisma. I don't know, right?
Yeah.
But Bill Gates, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Right? So, different personalities. You don't have to have that level of charisma, but you must have a vision which is exciting. People will want to know. So Elon Musk, I'll give you another example. Elon Musk, his company is, if I look at 20 top IT companies, because I did this talk for IT-based organization in Singapore, okay? APAC people from all over the world. And I showed them a list of 20 top companies in the world in their space and how much the average salary was and what was the stress level in those companies and what was the loyalty level of those employees. And they are, at that time, I think mostly Gen Y, a bit of Gen Z. Okay, and SpaceX and Tesla, both his companies, paid the 6th lowest compared to all the other 20 companies. But the loyalty level was the top 2. And the stress level also top 2. Okay, that means they had a lot of stress, but they were the loyal ones. But they were paid, yeah. So when I showed this to this particular company, these are all their competitors, by the way. They are actually hunting for the same people that these people are hunting for to join the team. So stress level is the top 2. That means the highest stress level is SpaceX, Tesla. But loyalty also highest, SpaceX, Tesla. But salary, bottom 6 out of the 20. Yeah? So why? Because the leader has a strong vision that people want to be part of. This guy seems to know where he's going. When he makes decisions, it can be unpopular, but seems to be the right thing. So these leaders produce results that I want to be part of. He might not be the most charismatic guy or charismatic lady. Doesn't matter. But his vision is enticing enough for me that I connect to what this company is doing. He might be a boring speaker. But when he speaks, it's something which is big enough I can connect with. You see?
So is it important for a leader at that level, like an Elon Musk level, to be liked or to be right?
At that level, you need to be right. You don't have to be liked.
Okay.
Liked, it makes it even better. But you need to be right. So if I'm taking the right decision, unpopular, so nobody likes me, but the people who stay in the company know that this guy seems to know things I don't know. Maybe I don't see it, but he sees it. I want to follow this leader because he can take me somewhere that I don't think anybody else can. You see? So that's very important.
Okay, so let's go to the next segment, which is levels of leadership. I think you touched on it earlier. You talked about different levels, different types, which is what we've been talking about.
But this one is a bit different. So the one I talked to you about, this is different types of positions.
Okay, so please
In
elaborate.
leadership.
What do you mean by levels of leadership?
Levels of leadership.
Yeah.
These are the 5 levels of leadership from Maxwell, right? And the lowest level is called positional leadership.
Okay.
So as a leader, normally the moment you have the title manager, supervisor, team lead, project manager, you already are given the license to give instructions and direct. Okay, but that's positional leadership. And a lot of people, even a lot of parents, lead from that point of view. I'm the parent, listen to me. I'm the head, you listen to me. So you never get the best out of people that way. Right? But you basically are expected to get people to do the job. Okay, that's level 1. I'm sorry. What you must do now, you must move from level 1 to level 2. Level 2 is called permission. So first level is called position, and you have the right to lead, but doesn't mean people will want to follow you. People at positional level, level 1, follow you because they have to, not because they want to. Now, you want people to want to, you have to do level 2. So, level 2 is called permission. For permission leadership to happen, you need to build relationships. So, I need to know what your aspirations are, what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are, what you like, what you don't like. I need to know this. So, there are 3 questions a leader must be able to answer. If I ask any leader, what do your people, so number 1 is, what do your people enjoy and dislike in their normal day-to-day tasks? So what do they enjoy? So do you know or not? Number 1. Number 2, what stresses them out? What motivates them? You must know. Different people are motivated by different things. As a leader, you must know. The third one is, how do your people prefer to learn? So let's say I have a Siva, I have a Ravi, I have a Liu, I have a Shahrul. How does Shahrul want to learn? How does Liu want to learn? How does he learn? So Liu might learn because he needs to read first, then practice himself. Shahrul says, show me, boss, so I can try immediately. So it depends. So you need to know how people prefer to learn, and then you engage them in that way. So when you do that, you start to gain permission. People say, this guy is okay. And you're friendly, you're approachable, you're open. You engage with me in a way I can connect with you. You get to know me as a person as well. One of my clients, the staff told me this. I know them for 20 years, 23 years in fact. And the staff said, if the GM leaves Suresh, we will leave. I said, wow. And the whole team will leave, She's that powerful. Why? She says, any new joiner comes, at the GM level, she will come down to meet, to find out, to go out with them, have lunch, find out what are their challenges in life. So some of them will say, I come from this kind of a family, this is how I had to grow. So I get to know you. Now you give me permission. Now I as the team member, give you permission to lead me. I want to follow you. Because you're a human being, you're my boss. But I want to follow you because I see you as a person.
But just to go a bit on a tangent here, you've been doing this for a long time. So I think the type of leadership you're talking about in that example is more friendlier, open, accessible, trying to come to the ground and talk to people and connect. Was this always the case? Have you seen this type of leadership even, say, maybe decades ago where it was more top-down?
Oh, yes. I see that now also.
Okay.
Yeah, and in some cultures in Asia Pac, some countries, especially in the eastern side of Asia, that's still very top down. Right?
Okay.
And even in Malaysia, you will see. I mean, that is the leadership style. Maybe in the beginning, or you say decades ago, you might see that a bit more because that was the value system. And the world was at a different phase. Today, the world is a different phase. People are different. So permission now is even more important than before. Before, I'm in that one company, especially if you work in the government, you are in that job, you are in that job forever. And there are some companies still in Malaysia where people are there for 20 years, 25 years, 30 years, 35. First job, I call it in Malay, kekasih awal dan akhir. So you still have them there. And they just take it. They just take it. But that is that generation. Today's generation, you can forget it. They are consumers of the workplace. So even more, and that doesn't mean it's right to be a consumer of the workplace, but the fact is that's how they are. Which is the best place for me to be? I'm going to sell my time, energy, effort. Who is the best customer? Or who is the best supplier? In this case, the company is the supplier of my income. I'm selling to you my services, skills, knowledge, expertise. You're giving me back remuneration. So which is the best place for me to be? So I'm happy. So they are consumers of the workplace, right? Unless you create leadership which gets permission from them to lead. So which means people today don't want bosses. They want coaches. And there are some leaders who are not sure how to balance being a friend and being firm. See, if I'm too friendly, they step on my head. If I'm too firm, then they leave. So that balance has to come. You see? So that's the challenge all leaders have today, especially with this younger generation. But they've had it in the past, but now it becomes even more pronounced.
So that means you're saying that in a corporate setting, the hierarchy of the society in that corporate setting nowadays should be more horizontal than more like vertical as it was before.
Yeah, of course.
Which system brings out the best output?
Which system? It's not so much of a system. I mean, if you're talking about top-down leadership, no, that's not. That's not going to give you the best. Unless your ship is sinking, it's a different story. Your ship is sinking, you better jump, or you're going to drown with the ship. So that's where you have to be a bit more, a bit more direct, a bit more firm, a bit more directive. But that's not all the time. right? There will be some crisis, there will be some changes that sometimes I have to push through. Correct. So you need to also be able to morph into a leader that can do that. But you want to do that successfully when you are not in a crisis, you should have built that permission. So that when the crisis comes, people will not leave you. Because they know you're doing this because the condition needs you to do this. You see?
So that means you're saying that a key component in being a leader, a successful leader in a corporate setting, is people management.
Of course. Even in the military. You're asking me to go and die for you, or die for the country. But there are so many people behind me which I'm protecting, which I will never meet in my life. And why am I going to go to war for you? If it's a leader who is never connected with me, I will leave. If I have a chance to save myself, I will save myself. So you don't get the best out of even your military people if you are not going to be a people manager. There was a study done with the SEALs. And they found the commanders, they were more emotionally intelligent. They could connect to people. The SEALs of that particular squad, you can call it, or platoon or whatever it is, they were the ones that performed better, took more risks, and went for more critical missions. Because the connection, asking me to give my life. Of course, it's a big picture vision. I'm inspired to serve my country, but the leader makes a huge difference. So that is our level 2.
Okay. And then the other level?
Okay, so you're approachable, you're friendly, you are connecting with me, but can you produce results? So you're a nice guy, nice lady. I can come to you and I have problems. And you can help me out, sort it out. But do you produce results or not? Are we meeting our KPIs every month in the department? Or are we the department that's always being, blasted by the leaders? So if we are departments meeting and even better exceeding, wow, this leader can also produce results. She or he can really take me somewhere. I really want to learn. So now you as a leader are slowly morphing into a coach mentor, which is basically what leaders need to become, right? If not, you always do this, do that, do this. You're very directive. Directive will not work for long term. Yeah. Okay. So becoming that, you must produce results. You must show results. Then people say, okay, this leader, okay, I want to belong to this department because that leader can bring me somewhere. And some CEOs, they know this very well of some of their managers and GMs. And you will see, new person comes in, they send to that department first. Because this person will groom that person very well. You see? And still produce results. Get that person to also produce results. So you'll see. So that's level 3. Now you do that, 1, 2, 3, normally you're already doing very well. But that's not enough. You need to go to level 4. Level 4, so okay, level 3 we call production. Level 1 is position. Level 2 is permission. Level 3 is production. Now level 4 is called, what is this? Level 4 is, you are now going to multiply. So it's called people development.
Okay.
People development. So here, you need to make more use. Create mini use. Right? So you must by then already be able to know who are the ones in my team who are showing some leadership capability that I can further groom. And now you start to mentor and coach those particular people to prepare you for succession. So like we talked about, right? Hiring from outside. So you find these people. So then you groom them, you have spend more time with them, preparing them, giving them higher, more critical tasks, higher responsibilities, see how they go, and then you are there with them to help navigate. That's where you walk and talk with this particular person. Now you can do that, now slowly you can move also. So you also go higher, you can handle bigger projects because you already produce results. And now you got people to support you. Now when you finally leave one particular day, this person will take over. Correct? That's how it goes.
So just to go back a bit, you also seem to talk a lot about how leaders, you talk about leaders who are liked.
Okay.
And they are respected, they're looked up to, right? One of the criteria of being liked, being respected, and seeing output is also being right or wrong.
Okay.
And that is very subjective.
Yes.
Correct? So for a leader, must they be right by themselves or must they prioritize being right by the majority or the people that are under them?
Okay.
Because that could be different, right?
Yeah.
What you think is right may not be me
You're
as
right.
an employee.
You're right. Now, when you have the position or role called leader, automatically, at the end of the day, it's your decision. Now, your team is supposed to become a supportive element to make you or help you make informed decision. Now, after they've told you all those things, and you still make a decision which is going to be detrimental to the team, then it's all on you.
Okay.
Okay. Now, sometimes you don't know. Is it going to be detrimental or not? Alright. So if your question is, so finally, if the leader feels they are right, they're going to go ahead. That is something leaders do anyway, because people below them might not see. Now, also the challenge can be people below are not giving you information, so you're not going to make an informed decision. But when you finally make the decision, you have the full right at that level to make the decision because you are at that position in the first place. So that's your role. It might not be a popular decision. It might be a tough decision. But if you are doing it for your own ego, that's the problem. You are supposed to do it for the big picture of the organization, not for your own self. So you see, of course, we don't want to go into politics, but you see that all the time. It's all about me surviving, not for the country. Same with the organization. It's for my growth. Now, and how you get people like that, maybe this person is coming in because they have their own agenda, their own goals. They want to grow income, exposure, whatever. I've met leaders like this. And they can only get the job done so much. After that, they have to push and push and push and people leave. But then they go and they jump. When they jump, when they are interviewed by the next company, what they asked, what did you do there? So they all say all the fancy stuff. I have one particular leader who from, I think, senior exec, went up to assistant GM within 6-7 years. And she jumped companies 6-7 years. Every year she goes there. The way she projects her particular resume is amazing. Whoever is hiring her will look like, wow, impressive. But she does not know how to lead. All gaya mutu keunggulan.
For those who don't know, that's an old dancing advertisement.
Yes. So she does not know how to lead people. She cannot bring the troops up Everest. Right? So she will climb halfway. She'll say, we were in this project, but we never reach the top because she cannot produce results. So this person, so you have leaders like this, but they're doing it for their own ego. If you're doing it for the company, big picture, it might be unpopular, not a favorite decision to make. Not a popular decision to make, but you still make it, and you end up becoming right. That's more important.
Okay, so a lot of the examples you have been given is, I think, more suitable for large entities, large companies, right? Because you're talking about different levels. So this mostly we've seen.
One more level, no, fifth.
Oh, sorry, I interrupted you. Sorry, yeah, fifth.
Okay, so the fifth.
Fifth, yeah.
So the fifth level is what we call pinnacle. It's called the pinnacle. So you got all 5 P's, right? So to become a leader at that level, that is the top level. That's a level you would say, you would put people like maybe Martin Luther King Jr., in the US fighting for the black rights at that level, where he gets the whole troops to go and fight for rights, equal rights. Or you would put people like Mandela, in that particular group. This is pinnacle, where you say jump, everybody says how high, boss. You don't have leaders, or you say you jump, I jump kind of thing, so we jump together kind of thing. But you have leaders where the leader says jump. Everybody asks, why? How? You show me first. That's not pinnacle. Okay. You think you're very good, you jump first. Okay. So that is not pinnacle. Those are possibly leaders still functioning at positional, but expecting pinnacle. Right? So pinnacle is where, with the 5 P's, you have 5 R's. So for you at positional level, you have the right, that's the R. At number 2 was permission level, you must build relationships, another R. The third one is production, you must produce results, third R. And for people development, the fourth one is reproduction, reproduce yourself. The fifth one is pinnacle. This is where you need to, at that level, basically what happens is you already earn respect. You see, so that's the R there. But for that to happen, you must do 1, 2, 3, 4 continuously. Then the R will come. Then you become a leader at the pinnacle level. So people now don't even question your decision. Because if you made the decision, it must be right. From my experience with you. Because you have done all this. You've produced leaders, you've produced results.
Even if they make a bad decision?
Well, everybody makes mistake. And the leader at that level, when he makes a bad decision or she makes a bad decision, they will say sorry. They will take full accountability. It's like the captain of the ship, the last one to be on the ship, everybody else off the ship first. I will go down with the ship. That is the level. So it costs also. But because you are at that level, people, if you make a wrong decision, they know you did not make it on purpose. Because you've always had the what is this? You always thought about the benefit to the company first, not yourself. That's how you reach there in the first place. So if you do make a wrong decision, which people have, right? And you say sorry for it, and you try to make up for it, you take full accountability, you get even more respect, in fact. You see, that's the difference. And a lot of leaders don't know how to say sorry. Some leaders, they are different in front of their bosses. They are different in front of their team. People can see that from miles away.
So in these instances you're talking about again, they're very more to MNCs, more to large companies lah.
Okay.
Let's talk about the micro business sector, the small and medium, right? Is it possible for an entrepreneur who would be the leader of that organization to execute multiple levels of this simultaneously?
With different people, you will be at different levels.
Yeah.
So if I have somebody who just joined me, I have to move from P1 to P2, level 1 to level 2. If somebody has been there, like in my team, for example, not very big team, small team, some people have been there with me for some time. So if Suresh says it, must be okay. So at that level. And I will try my best to groom people. So with different people, you're probably at different levels.
I see.
So you want to be simultaneously with the same person, not possible. But once you're at 5, that means you're all, right? Because 5, you've already gone through all with that person. And that person now is at level 5 with you.
Okay.
The respect is different. At level 1, the respect is because of your position. So people normally respect the chair, not the person sitting on the chair. And a lot of times, leaders get confused. They think it's them. No, it's the chair. And when they fear, they fear you, not the chair. But they respect you, not the chair.
What's the difference between a founder in terms of leadership style and maybe leadership responsibility in an entity between a founder and a CEO? Because, for example, I give an example like Playboy.
Okay.
When Playboy was first founded, the founder then just maintained the founder, but he hired somebody as a CEO to manage.
Right.
Same thing Apple has done as well
Okay.
last time. So what's the difference?
Okay, so see, founder, the energy is different. Like even Tony Fernandez, right? So you've got, in Sunway Group, I was in Sunway Group before also. So of course, Tan Sri founder, right? And the energy is different. You still look at it as your business, but along the way, as you become bigger and bigger, you need also professional managers to be able to handle that, to handle the business now. So the difference, of course, the founder, like Tony Fernandez comes in there, he puts in his energy, his passion, that's there. You might not get the same kind of passion that you will get from a professional manager or CEO. So that's the difference. Unless you really get somebody who's groomed from inside, who really has been with you and really shares that same passion. And that's not easy to find. So in family businesses also you might not get that, because it's a family business, I just continue. But you might not even get the same passion as the father or the grandfather who started it. But the idea here is you get professional managers in place for particular reasons, to help make the business a bit more structured. People with different qualifications, credentials, experiences you might not have. You have the passion, you had the grit, but you might not have these things that they have. So they are supposed to help you go to the next level. That's the difference. If you hire from outside and you hire these kind of people, different from the founder. If the founder is also highly credentialed or qualified, that it puts a different dynamic into that building of the business. But entrepreneurs, the spirit is different, bro. It's the passion, the grit, the resilience that you want because it's my business, that ownership. That's the difference.
Okay, so let's go back to framework. So one of the frameworks that you shared earlier was the 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 leadership countdown.
Okay.
So, but I stopped you
So
very,
6 roles
very
we've done.
rudely.
So 6 roles we've done, 5 levels we've done.
Okay.
So the 4 was?
This 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 countdown. What is that?
Okay, so this is big. Okay, if I do a training or a session on leadership, so normally these will be the topics that we look at. So the 6 roles, all leaders must know. The 5 levels, all must know. Now, 4 is the 4 phases of a team's development.
Okay.
So you have a team. And a lot of leaders, even I just recently presented this to another company, and this is normally my assessment tool. I share these 4 phases, and as I explain each phase, immediately the team, the client will tell me, I'm there, Suresh, I'm just there. It's like exactly, So I'm like, okay, so what do I do? Because they want level 4. Okay, let me just share what are the 4 levels. So this is called the Tuckman team development phase.
Okay.
Right? And some people...
Tuckman team development phase.
phases,
Okay,
right?
got you,
So,
got you.
so a lot of people know this as forming, storming, norming, performing. You heard before? No.
No, I'm just your profession has all of these wordplay acronyms.
Correct.
You guys are the king, lah.
Yes. So a lot of people think, Suresh, this is all conceptual, it's all theoretical. No. The theories and concepts come from real life observations. That's
Okay.
called science. Science observes, then comes up with a pattern, and they make it a model, easy for us to remember and learn.
Oh, okay.
And I seen it in my own career. I even use it all the time in my own stuff. Okay, so what are these 4 phases? The first phase is called forming. And when I draw a graph, at that phase, what you will see is there is high morale in the person. But the competence level is low. So And that phase, what leaders must understand is you will see certain behaviors and leadership programs, a lot that my clients themselves report to me. They say, Suresh, a lot of concepts, theory. But the leader who leaves that training room or that classroom does not know when I go back to my workplace, all this knowledge is good, but I go back to BAU, business as usual. What am I supposed to do with this knowledge? Right? So when you do this forming, storming, numbing, performing, leader's role is to start observing what type of behaviors is the staff presenting. So what you will see in the forming stage, new people join. Remember when you join new company? Very excited, high morale, willing to learn. Some people naturally are a bit more quiet, so they're quiet, but they're listening, they're paying attention. Some people are a bit more talkative, so they share ideas very quickly, right? Even though they might not know what they're talking about, but they will share. But you will see these behaviors, okay? You will see these behaviors. And at that point in time, leaders must understand that people are still observing and trying to find out, is this the right place for me or not? Right? So that also leaders must understand, because is this the right environment, right culture? Is this what the work that I've been given to do? Is it exciting? Is it new? Is it boring? What? The people I'm working with, are they approachable? All that thing is going on. So at that point in time, when somebody joins your team, a leader's job is to become a director. Imagine cast in a movie, you have the idea what is the movie about, you have to direct them how they are supposed to play their role. So each character has a role, correct? So your job as the leader, direction must be very clear. So you will be talking quite a bit, setting expectations, KPIs. Where are your tools? What are the different technologies you're going to be using, and what are the training sessions you must go and attend? What are the different paraphernalia we must give you? Your tag, your laptop. This is your room. This is your daily operations. This is your task. This is how you're going to be measured, rewarded. All that must happen in the first phase. But you must also do one more thing, because you must prepare yourself for phase 2, 3, and 4. You must also get to know them as people for the permission part, remember? So you have to go in, find out, get to know them. Don't abandon them. So what a lot of companies do is, they do buddy-buddy systems, which is good. But sometimes the buddy has no time for the new dude or the new dudette that join, because I'm too busy. Now you ask me to go and buddy this person, oh my God, more work for me. So putting a good buddy system in place, making it clear for this person who's just joining what they're supposed to do, how they're measured, where to get help, how to find support, whether you are accessible or not. All that very important. First phase, right? So that's the job of the phase 1. Now phase 2, storming phase. Most clients call me when they are in that phase, because they are like, with the word storm, right? What comes to your mind? Havoc.
Yeah.
Chaos. People are everywhere. And that's the time in the graph, morale is the lowest. Okay. Competency is increasing, because as you make mistakes, you learn. So the competency graph always goes up, right? But the what shall I say? The angle starts to plateau. But because the beginning part, when you just join, you're learning a lot very fast. Now the morale goes the lowest in the storming phase, and that will happen. People need to understand. Leaders need to understand that you cannot go from forming to performing without going through storming. Yeah, just like in marriage. I like to use marriage as an analogy simply because, especially for the woman who lives with the husband and his family, because she comes from a different culture. Now she comes inside excited, I'm married now, family is there, I want to impress, I want to also observe. I also want to decide whether I can live here or not.
I shouldn't be laughing so loud. Anyway,
Whether I can live here or not, will I be eaten alive, or will I be able to gel? How's the scenario? And that happens. It happens in every relationship, whether it's leader, team member, husband and wife, whatever it is. So, in the storming phase, what will be the behaviors you will start to see? You will start to see scenarios like people complain more now. There's a lot of blaming going on. Accountability is not there. People are not taking ownership. People are also, I call it tai chi. And if people have been there for some time, they've become numb. They're constantly in a storm. They've become numb to the pain. The pain is just there. And they will tell every new joiner, this is how it is here. That doesn't make it better. They're not performing, They're just numb. Right? So these are the things that our leader must be able to see. And you will hear a certain language in forming and storming. It's called I language. I am not treated fairly. I was not given due recognition. I was overloaded. I, me.
So that means storming is a phase of growth, lah, basically.
It's a phase of growth.
So I guess that's why it's so turbulent.
Correct. And it's where you have to stretch, right? Now, for me as a team member to stretch, first of all, I don't know how much I have to stretch. I don't know how long I have to keep stretching. And if there is somebody who I can go and talk to, meet, get guidance, that will really help me go through the storm. So if I did not, as a leader, I was not okay or I was not able to connect with this person in the forming stage, how on earth am I going to be there for them in the storming stage? Because I am also going through the storm. Correct? So the storming stage, you will start to see these behaviors. You will also see a lot of silo mentality. You will see in the storming stage. And people always push blame. Tai Chi, yeah, as I said. Now, as a leader, what are you supposed to do? Here, your job is coach. You talk less, you listen more. So I'll give you an example. And I ask, guys, good thing about what I do is I train multiple levels in the organization. So I will train the leaders and I will train the team members. So when I train the leaders, I said, so guys, how do you connect? And I'm talking about the storming stage. Oh, we have open door policy here, Suresh. So actually our staff can access us. I say, oh, really, yeah? So you find it useful? Yeah, they come in and then we have a chat and then they leave. And I think it's okay.
I've done my job.
Yeah. Now I ask the staff.
Okay.
Your bosses tell me that you all have an open door policy. They said, really? I said, yeah. Why? You don't think so? No, Suresh, I think I give you a few details. I said, okay, tell me. So when we go in, before we go in, the door is open. Then after we go in, the door is closed. And when the door is closed, Suresh, then only they speak, we listen. And we only get bang, 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 bang. Then when they ask a question, if we take some time to answer, there is no time to answer because they come and bang, bang, bang again. So it's not so much open door policy. It is open in the beginning, and then it's closed door policy. You continue to do this, if not, the door is open to get out, not to stay in the company. So different perspectives. But not all clients are like this, of course. There's the good leaders who I've met, really open door policy, and they're so open that sometimes if I'm a newcomer, I don't know who is the boss. They are so ingrained with the team that they are one of them. So that's the beauty of some kind of leaders. These kind of leaders. So storming stage, your job, coaching, you listen more, talk less. Because there are 4 reasons people leave. The first reason is relationship with immediate supervisor, which is the leader. Not with the CEO, so with the immediate supervisor. Second reason people leave is wrong job fit. So the person coming down, the morale coming down at the storming stage can be because of the connection, not being able to speak up, trust level, or feeling insecure or whatever. Number 2 is maybe I'm in the wrong place. Or maybe the job is the wrong job for me. I came in expecting this, but these other things that came in were not what I was supposed to do, or I am not well equipped to do it, and I was too afraid to say it out in the forming stage. But now it's coming out. Okay, so you have to assess what this person needs. That's number 2. Number 3 is I've been here for some time, and now I'm getting a bit into the storming stage because I don't feel I'm growing. I'm doing the same thing for the last how many years. So now, even though I was performing earlier, slowly I'm dropping back into the storming stage. And the 4th one is basically rewards. The amount of stress I'm going through every single day doesn't make sense, compared to the remuneration that I'm getting paid, So the stress is just too much. Anytime there's a crisis, I'm the one. Anytime somebody leaves, I get the job. And I get the job done. But I'm not recognized. I'm not rewarded accordingly. So that can also bring me into the storming stage. But that is reverse.
So that means like I think the best example recently was this company called WeWork.
Yes.
And WeWork, I think it was a CEO who was who used to say, we are a family. And you hear this a lot in modern startups, right? Should employees believe it when their leaders say we are a family in a company?
I mean, it's if I'm new, it's nice to hear. Oh, okay, we're a family, good. But then as I go through the experience with you, if I don't feel family-like, then this is all say. You're talking the talk, but you're not walking the talk.
Okay. So always take it with a pinch of salt.
Yes. So
Okay,
it's
careful.
meant to be seen. And intelligent staff who've been around in different companies, they know, okay, that's the narrative. Let's see whether the rubber really hits the road or not. Are they really doing it or not? Now, if they're doing it, fine. Even if you don't say it, but you're doing it, people already feel family-like. If you say it, you better do it. That's important. So leaders will do whatever they need to do to inspire you. Great. But staff will observe. You're really doing it or not? You say something else, you do something else. And they say, what you do shouts so loud, I can't hear what you say. Right? Because that's what people see, behavior. So in the storming stage, your job, listen. Stop talking. And you listen, when you do coaching, your job is to ask questions, listen to their answers, acknowledge where they are coming from. You don't have to agree with what they're saying, but acknowledge their emotion, acknowledge where they're coming from, their point of view. That means it's valid how you feel. And then challenge where you can challenge. Challenge meaning ask for clarification. When you say this, can you give me more examples? Because you also want them to reflect and see, is it an overreaction? Is it I am too sensitive? Is it that I have assumed? Is it that I have not given it due effort? What is the reason? You know what I'm saying? So you need to learn to be a coach in that stage. And sometimes the staff goes down, nothing to do with work. The morale goes down because something happened in their personal life. When sometimes it's a financial issue at home, health issue, relationship issue. So now you have to become a counselor. So you see a lot of training programs that say coaching and counseling. Sounds similar. It is in a way, but you coach people when it's a work problem causing a work performance problem. So it is the other department being slow, or I don't have enough resources, or the service level agreement, is not very clear, or my scope of work suddenly changed. So that's a work issue causing a performance problem. You coach. Now, if it is a personal issue causing a work performance, now you counsel. So you have to go in there, and not many leaders are comfortable doing this. They're not sure, am I crossing the line? Because it's a personal thing. So you have the license as a leader to go into because it's a performance issue. That means it's causing a performance issue at work. They are not delivering. Now you can go because of the issue at home. You need to go in and check out and find out. Now, if you have built that relationship in the forming stage, and you are continue to do your coaching in the storming stage, when it comes to personal issues, they will speak up. In fact, they will come and find you.
So that means like what you're saying now is very different from the whole culture that I'm used to, which is you come to work, you work.
Yeah, of course. That will not work now, my friend. That will not work.
Now you seem you have to be a leader, counselor.
You have to do that. In fact, even from day one, but in the beginning of time, we're talking about what, in the 1960s, 70s, 80s, whatever, the people were different. That means leaders were different, the staff also were different. It was about keeping a job to grow my family. You're post-World War II, A very different mindset. Right? So the goals were different. I will take whatever that they throw at me so I can still keep food on the table. Today, it's very different. Today, I will change table. Food is just there.
Yeah.
Right? How you serve me important. You don't serve me well, I won't eat your food. I will find somewhere else. You have to serve me, cook everything well. So it has changed. That doesn't mean it's right.
But do you see an issue with leaders, especially the old timers, to sort of make that switch from how the culture they worked and then to what it is now?
Of course. There is a switch. So it takes some time for them to realize, because you're talking about them now leading their children. No, it is their children's age, their child's age, which is now reporting to them. And some of these people who are young, they'll tell me, I feel, Suresh, my boss is like my father or my mother. They're fathering me around and mothering me around. Now, if he's a good father and mother, different story. If it's love and kindness and all that, it's a different story. So some of them say that boss is like a father, thinking about the family. Okay, chud. But some of them have fathers who are very strict. You do it this way, don't question me. I'm the dad of the house. You live under my roof, follow my rules. You got that kind of leaders also. You see? So today's world, you need to be able to do that. So in the storming stage, so the 6 roles that the bosses have, right?
Sorry, just one more question about the storming stage, right?
Right.
When you're at that storming stage, how important are SOPs to build SOPs? How do you balance the ship during the storm? Now you're going through the storming stage, and in as you know, at a time of growth, things get very messy.
Correct.
People are all over the place. Are SOPs a very important thing to sort of keep everything at bay?
Okay, good question. So good analogy you used also, which is ship. So if you look at, even ships, because the maritime industry is so mature and really well tested, they also have SOPs for crisis.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But that came through experiences with multiple crises. To know that this will not work when the volcano is going to erupt. You cannot go business as usual. You have to switch. So if you are sticky that this still must happen, despite the crisis we are going on, no, it doesn't work. Example, I don't know whether I can mention it or not, like MH370, first time we experienced.
Yeah.
Communication and that scenario cannot be the same as normal scenario. You have to change. Country is going through a turmoil, like war going on. you have to change the way you have to change the way you operate. You cannot operate the same way to keep order. Right now, everything is in disorder. So you have to now make sense of the disorder and create new things to survive the disorder. You know, there's a leak in the ship, but you still go mopping. There's no that job not important now. Mopping because water coming in, you mop. Not going to solve the problem.
That employee must be sacked.
You're right. The leader will be sacked first. If they don't do anything about that, so the leader must. That's the leader. So if they're making the wrong decision.
Sorry, I just have an image in my head of like the water, like the Titanic, water's gushing in some idiot with the.
You got people like this, my friend. Let me tell you.
Okay.
Really,
Sorry.
really.
Yeah.
So you got all kinds of species of human beings in the world that make the world go round.
Yeah.
You know. So counseling here, that additional skill is ability to empathize when you're having that conversation. In coaching, the empathy is very, what shall I say, maybe a bit more, not as soft, I will say, not as soft as the empathy you will show during a counseling session, because it's something very private. So here you will also add scenarios where you will say things like, I'm not in your shoes, and I don't want to be in your shoes because it's not easy, but I really need to find a way, or we really need to find a way how we can help you go through this, at the same time not impact the work so much. So if you really need time off to settle this, by all means, So you are in that kind of scenario. It's a bit different from coaching. But the four things you do are still the same. You will be still asking questions. You'll still be listening. And now you're listening to understand. And you're always listening to understand now. You're not listening to judge or answer. Or defend. And you're not going to tell the person, that's your family thing, you have to fix it. Work is work, family is family. You don't do that in the storming stage. The person will leave. You don't do that anytime also. Those days they will say, leave your emotions at home. Are you what, a robot? You bring your emotions everywhere. You want them to bring passion. You want them to bring confidence. You want them to bring positive attitude. But you want them to leave all the negative on at home. It's a package deal. You bring the whole person. But of course, you need to know how to leave issues which are maybe less critical at home. But if those things are really big, you're going through a divorce, how to focus? Your child is special and you're having a challenge now, having somebody to take care of them. How to focus? You're constantly thinking, You have an elderly parent who's bedridden. How to focus? You just found out you got diagnosed with a very terminal illness. How to focus? You're thinking about what's my life going to be? You're going through depression. Somebody you really cared for just left, died, passed away, suddenly stopped talking to you. You're affected. So the leader must be able, and if it's affecting performance, you have the license to go in. Right?
But is that decision to counsel then opening up the floodgates for your people below you? You are sort of encouraging that sort of behavior to bring your problems from home to the workplace.
Now, if it's most people don't share personal stories immediately, right? They only share with people they trust. Now, if they are telling you their personal stories, that means they already trust you. So that's a good point. So that's good. There's nothing wrong. But if they're talking all about their personal issues, which has nothing to do with work performance or affecting their work performance, then you have to tell them, okay, that one we talk later during lunch. Right now, we need to settle work. So you need to be able to balance that as a leader. And people don't gossiping in the office is a different story. So that gossiping is another disease, which leaders must be able to detect. If it's talking about work, then we talk about work. Because you're talking about what another department is doing that's affecting our department. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it in the meeting. Let's get the other people involved. Do something about it, not just talk about it. But if it's a personal thing, as a leader, your responsibility is to help this person perform. Because when they join the company, their morale was up there. You see? And they have been learning and trying to cope with the KPIs and deliverables that are expected of them. But now they just cannot find a way because they are lost. That's why now a lot of organizations, right, they have this thing called, not enough companies, I would think. They have this program called EAP, Employee Assistance Programs. I heard of this? No. So these are programs to support mental health.
Oh, okay, yes.
And because I'm quite fortunate, a lot of my clients are MNCs. These multinationals, especially in the healthcare and pharmaceutical industry, they spend quite a bit of time, energy and money on these programs. And there are even 5 levels of EAP programs. Simple, lowest level will be educating or making leaders aware of symptoms of mental health. Just having simple talks on a bi-monthly basis or on a quarterly basis to make people aware that this is a real thing. So that's level 1. Level 5, you even can have scenarios where you have a particular service provider that the employees in the company can call to get counseling directly from.
Yeah. They have
so
apps
that's-
and all that for that now.
That's level 5. And in between there's different things lah. So we also do quite a bit of work in that space. But so different companies spend a different amount of energy, time and effort on those areas. But leaders in the storming phase, at least they are the first point, right? Because that's your stuff. So that's level 1. Level 5, you even can have scenarios where you have a particular service provider that the employees in the company can call to get counseling directly from.
Yeah. They have
so
apps
that's-
and all that for that now.
That's level 5. And in between there's different things lah. So we also do quite a bit of work in that space. But so different companies spend a different amount of energy, time and effort on those areas. But leaders in the storming phase, at least they are the first point, right? Because that's your stuff.